Hell yeah. Back on a Monday night. Outlaw Radio, Messy. Welcome to the show. I felt like I had to start like that in order for it to have impact. Welcome to the show. My name is Kevin Barnes, I think, and I am the mayor of Chocolate City, the architect of the People's Network, as well as the People's News Network. In some circles, they refer to me as the Negro Whisperer. So, welcome to the show. It's Outlaw Radio. It's what I do Mondays and Wednesdays. Unless I have an event that you requested that you'd like to write a check for, I will gladly host that event. So hit me up. If you want to get a sponsorship, hit me up. If you want to get a shout out, jump in the chat room. If you want to call and shout your own self out, the phone number is 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. Cash App is there too. If you love the show and you say, Kev, I want to see you do this with it. I want to see you do that with it. Hit the Cash App. I'll start doing what you asked me to do. Well, hold on. Let's be careful. Some of y'all are sick. Dion, I see you in the chat room early. He said, boy, I'm in this motherfucker. Right? Dion is always before. He's here before everybody else, including my co-host a lot of times. Right? He said, give me a shout out. You already know, man. People's champ, man. We'll see if Dion can get with me on this the next Kamar Carter Wellness Our Way event, because we were live at the Sherman Phoenix. If you haven't watched that video, it's actually archived on my timeline. You have no excuse not to see our show. We do have a YouTube page, which I neglect, and the numbers reflect that. our, our YouTube numbers are what you would call paltry, right? Look that up. But it's you get out of something what you put into it. And I don't put a lot of time into YouTube like I should. Therefore, it's not being utilized correctly. But if you are a social services, I'm sorry, an internet person or social media, I said social services, a social media person who knows how to do that, holler at me. We could use some help with working social media. I'm just not, everybody has a talent. I don't know if that's one of mine. Working an angle, right? Rail, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
What's happening, man? Trying to get my light fixed. I was like, it ain't working, but I realized it wasn't plugged up. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's too bright.
Oh, okay. You got a light now and shit.
No, I had it before, but when I be having to take my when I had to go into the office, I had to go to the office last week, so I had to unhook everything, and then we ain't hop on Monday. I would have hooked it back up Monday, but I forgot until I got down here, and I'm like, why my damn light ain't coming out?
Well, it's all good. Y'all let me know if my audio is clear. I know sometimes we'll be doing the show. My audio will be fucked and nobody will say shit. It's like people just want to see you fail, right? Like just yeah. Y'all couldn't hear me the whole time, but y'all was agreeing with me. So I don't even know if you motherfuckers actually listen to that shit I say. But welcome to the show, man. We haven't been on. We were off Monday. I'm gonna talk about why we were off Monday. But I have to say, man, how was your weekend?
Hey, it was smooth, man. It was real smooth. Was able to it was Mother's Day, so was able to honor my mother and my lady. And then I went outside and was getting my garden beds together.
Okay.
Caught a couple plants from Home Depot that I planted. I'm trying again to do a blackberry bush. Like my last berry bush died, but I'm like, if I can get this blackberry bush to live and just keep coming stronger every year, shit, that my kids will be eating on that shit for years.
Man, that's why I love asking you what you did over the weekend, because you always say some shit nobody else would say, right? Like, yeah, I was planting some sarsaparilla in the backyard and feeding my bovine calves and shit. Like,
yeah, I'm a blackberry bush, man.
No doubt. Hey, listen, you said Mother's Day, so and I'm actually, because you talk about emotional maturity, right?
Okay.
It took me a long time to get here because my mom passed in 2006. Yeah. My mental emotion, like my emotional maturity, I can actually handle Mother's Day now way better than I used to be able to. In the wake of my mom's death, I struggle with it a lot, and I didn't want to be around people. I wanted to just, then I started to
I
realize,
understand.
like, stop wallowing in your own misery, man. Like, and I had a conversation with my wife and we were talking about this. I said, I just had to get to the point where it's like, well, you got to move on, but you can't say, hey man, you got to move on to somebody who just lost somebody. So
Right,
there's like
right,
stages of grief,
right.
right? Like, and so, but yeah, I actually was in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, because my daughter graduated from the University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. With distinction, as they said, right? And so she's crossed, she's a Zeta, right? But just to see her get this thing done, and it let me know, like, the generation, like what we wanted to do. My wife and I was okay. We were both first generation college students, so we said, we want to build a legacy on educated Black people. So how do we do that? Well, we try to make sure our kids get educated, right? So it was important to see that. And my baby girl is just something else, man. She's just something else. So she did that shit, right? And so it was Mother's Day too. Of course, we had a little I got to get a little loose on the grill. I didn't
Okay.
get to grill, right? That's coming up for my son's high school graduation, which will be next weekend. But I got on there, did some ribbage and whatnot. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law, I was, my wife's people. It turned out to be a great day, right? And it was happy
So,
Mother's Day to my wife as well. So yeah, man, crazy weekend, man. I said, what that boy said, on the road again. Hotel living and shit. It was cool though. I have way more appreciation for family, my own family, now than I ever have. Like, not even about like cousins and no, shout out to my cousins and them and all that, but I appreciate my family, my wife and my kids. Like, we're one because we got a bond, right? So shit was dope. It was dope. And as a father, I don't care what cats say. Hey, fuck college. College ain't shit. Fuck this shit. If your baby girl or your son go through that shit and pop it, you're gonna be standing there with a big. You should be, or unless you just a hater. You shouldn't be happy to help your kid, man. So dope, man. I will say this: Somalis have taken over the Twin Cities. This graduation was way more Somalis than anybody else. Boy, it was nothing but head coverings and I said, cool. What, I don't even know what they call them, right? Like, them, right? Like they have a strong hold. Their children are graduating with advanced degrees. My daughter might have been one of only even a handful of Black kids or babies, our babies. So, man, people come here, get in, start doing their thing. So you start moving like Arabs, right? You look around, these motherfuckers way up there. So, Black people, be aware. We need to be pushing our kids. And it ain't got to be the University of Minnesota, whatever it is. Shit. Just push them to do something, get something done. He walks in the chat room. He said, the great one is here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Shout out to you, Ewok the Great. John Fletcher, shout out to you. He said, what up, family? What's the topic tonight? I got you. Oh, we won't put our business on the screen, John. We won't put our business on the screen. No, don't do that. Just holler at me, John. You already know, man. Just holler at me. It's all good. Matter of fact, I forgot, so let me put you right back up there. All right, my sponsor, John Fletcher from EPU Self-Defense. And there's their website, epusds.com. So shout out to you, John. Just, I missed it. I forgot it tonight. So yeah, no doubt. But we'll talk. We talk like we always do. Hey, lot going on, right? Lot going on. Why did I decide to call the show Messy? Right? In some situations, this is the only way you can describe it. When it's all discombobulated at once on all different levels, we're not just talking about on a social level, on a neighborhood level. We're talking about a city, a county, a state, a country. It's all fucked up at the same time. So it's messy. People saying all kinds of wild shit. Some of it's true, some of it ain't. People doing all kinds of crazy shit for whatever reason they decide they want to do it. Right? I have to say this, and I'm sending prayers, man. My barber of 20 years, my barber Paul, shot in front of his barbershop.
Oh man.
Right on Capitol Drive. Allegedly for his truck. I don't know the details of it, but I can say this is not a dude who's in the streets as far as I know. You feel me? This is not a dude who's moving foul, robbing, doing whatever. This is a brother who I've known, like I said, been cutting my hair 20 years. Regardless of what you think, has worked hard for whatever he has. You stand on your feet 10 hours a day cutting hair, right? Whatever.
Damn.
Did not deserve this. This is absolutely ridiculous. My wife was reading an article and saying 8 people have been shot, I think, since Friday. It's not even summer yet. It's not even summer yet. You know, and on top of that, you got all this kind of bullshit going on with our leadership. MPS is fuckery. City Hall is fuckery. Right? I think that's a good word to describe it. Fuckery. So it's messy. The media is messy. Everybody got drama. Everybody got beef. And every bit motherfucker calling each other, fuck you. You don't take care of your kids. Your daddy used to beat your mama, nigga. Like, it's just, everything is just messy. And it's the way to move now. Like, everybody just get online and unload. It don't matter if they telling the truth or not. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, everybody gossip now. That's what the internet has turned us into. We all gossipers. Because most of the time when you see some shit on Facebook, you don't know whether or not it's real or not, but you will say, hey man, you hear that such and such? I seen that shit on Facebook. You're gossiping inadvertently because you pass them along some shit you don't even know if it's true or not. I believe that's what gossip is, right? At least partially. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is I say this all the time. It's a great time to be a black man right now, but society is very messy right now. We know shit about people now we should know. Motherfuckers writing books, motherfucker do a documentary on you and ain't even got to have your permission. And know your whole life, and that shit be on Netflix. Nobody even cares how accurate it is.
Right.
Messy. Messy. R. Kelly in jail. P. Diddy is an exposed pervert. Everything we ever saw and believed was glitz and glamour. Michael Jackson was a weirdo, right? When you start learning the truth behind all this shit, like, wow, that was crazy. President Reagan was senile. We know that now. We didn't know back then. But see, you know all of this shit because everybody's messy now. Anybody who knows anything about anybody. I mean, one time, he had a woo 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 and wah wah wah, and that shit just go viral. Motherfucker make a fat ass check off YouTube for it. So it's messy. I think the conversation needs to turn into how do we clean this shit up? Obviously. But how do you feel about? I know you probably you one of my brothers who is just kind of the world is right here and you're right. Like you like Andre 3000, right? Milwaukee's Andre 3000. I know goddamn well you got a flute somewhere, and I know you play. So when I say messy, man, how does bouncing off your earlobes?
Oh, exactly just how you described it. It's a whole lot of distractions going on right now. You know what I'm saying? There's real shit going on that ain't really being discussed, and then there's distractions being discussed by everybody.
Distraction. What's a distraction?
For one, I would say the Kendrick and Drake beef. You know what I'm saying? I believe that's a distraction. Now there's just so many. You know what I'm saying? Now there's now they posting, I guess, all the Jewish men who are putting out Sexy Red and whatever the Spice Girl name is, but it's just a whole lot of shit I've been seeing lately. And me, I try to manage my timeline, like I put in my book, one of the first things in changing your life is change how you think, and the easiest way to change how you think is change what you follow on social media. So I usually try to like unfollow too much shit, but other people share it. Like I just seen a whole bunch of people was up at Custer the other day, so it's a whole lot going on. And then, like I said, there's a whole lot of other shit going on that they ain't really discussing, like all these boycotts in Europe or these like Congo genocides and shit like that.
Okay, who's distracted by that?
I would say the majority of folk is. I'm seeing more men, discuss this rap beef than I'm seeing about them discuss anything else. And that's cool. It's okay. I mean, just like sports. There's
Let me ask you this though.
yeah.
Those individuals, even before the Kendrick and Drake beef, when you were around them, they didn't discuss anything then either. It was whatever had been before that. So I don't know if it's a distraction in as much as it's just that some motherfuckers just choose not to know.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it's not like this motherfucker was profound, and then
right.
the Kendrick battle happened, and he
Right,
all of a
right.
sudden didn't
They
know
was
shit.
always distracted by
Right.
something.
It's just like, all of a sudden, he go from giving you metaphysical advice, and then Drake come and rap. He said,
Right.
"Oh yeah, wow, shallow motherfuckers
True,
been
true.
shallow.
Right,
Shallow motherfuckers been shallow, right? Like, so I tell you this because I paid attention to the Drake and Kendrick battle because I love hip hop.
Yeah.
Right. I still pay attention to what goes on in our culture and rap music and black music, whatever black culture still is for all intents and purposes. But I'm not distracted from any world events, right? I'm not. I know what's going on globally, economically, politically, the trends in America. So you can pay attention to all that shit at the same time, I guess. But I'm not disagreeing with you in that there are some things that I think are intentionally designed to be distractions, because what do you need when you down? You need something to pick you back up, right? So you need an event, a movie, a show, a song, something that be like, "Woo, this shit took my mind off of whatever I've been stressing about." So, and I also feel like, because I have an opinion on the Drake and the Kendrick battle. Right? And people say, "Well, why do you care?" Well, I just explained to you why I care. So, but it's many more things exposed with this battle because, first of all, in culture and arts, there's always a shift, right? Powers have to shift. You think about the greatest rappers that had a run, right? Nobody's run has ever been as long as Drake's. Tupac's has, but he's been dead 30 years, right? Like, so he probably got the longest reign in terms of being a relevant, top notch. Whenever some music dropped, it's boom. Drake got about from 2000.
So you mean like hits or like top 10
Just when
Billboard?
relevant, you selling out, and you going to on tours around the world, you own every project. Rappers usually have a run where they might have 2, 3, 4 platinum albums. After about 6, 7 years, motherfuckers start going down. Next thing you know, look at like Nelly, look, Ludacris, rappers who was boom. Even 50 Cent kept himself relevant, obviously, with But music wise, usually rappers remain famous by either going into movies or like Jay-Z, becoming a businessman or whatever, staying in the industry. But it ain't about now I'm releasing albums that's going 6, 7 million. No, Drake had a strong hold. He had a chokehold on hip hop for a long time. And this year is all about beef, and it's all about exposing people. Because this shit ain't new. None of the shit about this dude's new.
Right.
It's like all the shit been said and whatever, but this is the year where it's just your time to go. So I think as far as culture goes, there may be a shift back to hip hop for black people. I hope you understand what I'm saying, because back in the days, hip hop was for black people.
Yeah.
I want to say this too, because I'm going to talk about culture vultures. It's Outlaw Radio. It's messy, so I'm probably going to be all over the place tonight. So I'm messy tonight.
It's all good.
Right. But when we talk about culture vultures, we talk about white people. What happened was white people got involved in the hip hop industry. And shout out to white people who like rap, but it's not yours. And you shouldn't have an input on the creation of it, or you know how people receive it. So it ain't just about you ain't letting conscious rappers rap. You're not allowing their message to be heard because you're playing the other shit. You rather promote the other shit. When they have Leor Cohen on the Breakfast Club, and they ask him, how could this be the shit that you sold to us and you don't sell this to your own people? He's like, man, we got to eat. My family had to eat. He just told you. He just told you. So I think the Kendrick thing was about Kendrick raps feel more aimed towards us. Like you feel like it's more black. You know what I'm saying? We still got race issues in this country. So what was exposed? Drake's half white. he's mixed. He's Jewish.
He always been though.
We always knew that, but it means something this year, right? It's the R. Kelly shit.
Right,
we knew Aaliyah was 12 in 93 when he married her. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make light of the shit. I'm saying we knew this shit. He didn't go to jail until the 2020s.
Right. Well, Chris Rock was at what is that? Who had a comedy called Selective Outrage?
That was Chris Rock, I think.
Okay, that was Chris Rock. Okay, yeah, it goes like I say all the time. Like shit, people ain't get mad until Surviving R. Kelly came out. You know, people ain't get mad until like I remember Cat Williams did a whole joke about being at celebrity parties where men were kissing, but it took Cassie situation for the whole Diddy thing to explode.
It's a perfect storm because you have Cat Williams light the fuse. And then even to the point where, and keep in mind, y'all, to this point, Diddy hasn't been charged with anything. Like, yeah, they raided his joints, but I haven't, and I'm not in the loop, so I don't know if some charges are forthcoming. But to this point, he hasn't been charged with anything. So people saying no Diddy, because we get it have such fun with that no Diddy shit, like, and you know, even old dudes have fun with that shit, like because it's like, dog, watch what you say. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, it's a culture shift. I'm hoping, you know, because hip hop had this year where all of a sudden no songs went number one, right? And then the ladies just came with this whole house rap and just was boom. And so, how does it get back to the essence? Well, the sound of the people has to go against the sound of the machine, and I think that's why Kendrick. That song is like number one in the country and shit. That shit. They say, well, greatest this song is a hit song. Shit, this shit is a hit right now. Like, so
I still ain't heard it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. It's his shit is just very layered. Every time you listen to it, you hear more shit he's saying. You say, damn, that was good, damn. And so it's not necessarily the sound I come from.
Yeah,
when it comes to hip hop, but it's still, you know. So yeah, man. Dion says that lady told Vivek that she wouldn't vote for him because he's an Indian. Who the hell is Vivek? I don't even know who that is. He said I still haven't heard one diss track between those two. Some people chose not to pay attention to it. That's what I'm saying, Real. You said it's a distraction, but you got a lot of brothers like you just said who, especially in my age group, they say, man, I ain't never heard none of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it ain't. I don't know that it's a distraction. If it is, it didn't work.
I guess for some people, you know.
Yeah, for pop culture, but people who follow pop culture, right? If you don't, a lot of shit I know right now that's what's going is simply because I look at Facebook.
Yeah, I feel you.
Not a big commenter. Don't put my food up. I put my kids up, right? I put my kids up. I will put their achievements up, but you know, most of that I'm just reading. I'm just scrolling. So all motherfuckers kill me and say, man, I don't be on none of this shit. I don't pay attention to none of it. Usually that person don't know what the fuck is going on either. You got to look at every platform that you have where you get information from it. You should at least check it out briefly. You know, go through it and say, what's all this shit about? You know, I've had people argue me, your information is invalid because you use Google. Like, all right. You know. He said Vivek was a presidential candidate. It ain't time for me to start paying attention to the presidential race yet. When it get down to them primaries where the swing states is involved and this kind of thing, and it's getting close to November, then I start really ramping up that shit. So I don't know who the presidential. I know Bush. I mean, I know Biden, and I know Tangerine King. Uh, what up, Mr. Carter? I already know you got the graduation.
Peace, peace.
Yeah, I figured you wasn't gonna be here. That's why I asked y'all that earlier in the chat because I'm like, Kamara's he talking about I might be late. No, you definitely gonna be late. I just sat through a 2.5 hour graduation on Saturday. I'm telling you, crazy. Like, man. I mean, it was a lot of kids, man. Big university. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, messy, man. So now back to the news of the city that you would say matters, right? You would say right now in Milwaukee, in this city, we now have an epidemic of individuals robbing food trucks. I believe 4 food trucks were robbed over the weekend. Shout out to Lockhart Media, Calvin Lockhart. That's my guy. And a lot this in the People's News Network. Individuals are now robbing the food trucks, snatching the drawer out, out the window, pointing guns. This is what messy Milwaukee, right? Shout out to Mama Jenkins in the chat room. She said, "Good evening, my Outlaw family. Let's get it on tonight. Milwaukee is moving up in daily." She said, "Stay off 21st and Clark and Center Street. Remember the 5 people in the house on Clark, and they have a shootout on Center Street weekly. That school superintendent Posley needs to be fired as soon as possible, ASAP." She said, "Little buddy needs a few directives from the taxpayers of this city. Another deadly accident today on Brown Deer." Messy. That's what I'm saying. So, real, I guess that kind of go back to the question you asked, like, can you even really be distracted with all the bullshit going on? Especially if you live in this city. If you got to drive down the street and see yellow tape and horrific car wrecks, and you turn on the news and you're seeing bodies and you're getting phone calls and people inboxing you, what the fuck is going to distract you besides some crack cocaine? And that's only temporary, boss. I'm just saying. Crazy, man. But yeah. But this is the city that your man's just told you was safe. That they have a plan. You have a department that's been allocated millions of dollars to get in there and start cleaning up some of the messiness. How's that working out for you? You just sold a whole bunch of people a dream and a lie because the city's not safe. And as a matter of fact, this is early warm. This ain't summer. This early warm. So what kind of summer will this be? Another turbulent one. What you gonna do? Blame COVID again? Well, since COVID, it's 2024, motherfucker. Have you not moved on? Kamar says wellness our way, June 1st. Absolutely, Kamar. Be there, be square. They say don't meet me there, beat me there. We'll all be there. We'll be in the house. Dion says, "See, I don't know nothing going on in Milwaukee. I haven't watched the news in years since COVID." You live in Milwaukee. I don't know how you don't know anything that's going on in Milwaukee. I don't know what you're talking about, Dion. You don't know about the sister getting mutilated and chopped up. You don't know about the horrific car crashes that happen here every day. You don't know about the bullshit bump outs that they put on the streets, the raggedy ass streets. You don't know about the school system that just fucked people over sideways, get a $252 million referendum and then say, shit, this ain't even enough. And on top of that, you get a referendum where you're supposed to keep people and you end up firing people after you get it. Messy. Motherfucker go to the school board meeting. Oh, I put a bug in the in his office. The police is investigating people for whether or not they live in a certain district. And motherfuckers is robbing food trucks. Tell me where the priorities are here. Little buddy. Come on, man. Tell the truth. Shit. Dion says, he said he don't know. Yeah, that's when he said, yeah, I hear about certain things, but not every detail. Hey man, well, it's better to be informed so I'll know what areas are what areas, right? If I'm gonna navigate the turf, I need to understand it. I need to know how I have to maneuver. So messy, man, messy. 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. Call in, represent where you from, shout out somebody. Let me know if you don't think it's messy. Maybe you feel like it's all good. I'd like to know your opinion. Um, but it's Monday night. I mean, it's Wednesday night, so it's actually our second show of the week. We haven't been on since last week. Go back and check out the archive shows. Um, how aware are you, Rail, of what's going on in the city? Because I know you like, I stay focused on my path and do my thing. So are you aware of a lot of this shit going on? Or you just like Dion, like I don't pay attention to that shit?
I'm aware of a few of, some of it. But man, right now, that's one of the reasons. This weekend I also met with Eagle Eyes to have him come through and give me an estimate on my fence. So that's one of the reasons I'm getting the fence put up, because I'm like, shit, this summer we gonna be in the backyard, chilling, grilling, and smoking and sipping where it's safe.
There you go. There you go. And see, Rail, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Because I said that on the show when we talked about the whole car thing, somebody in your yard, and I'm like, being in a situation where you're vulnerable is partially your fault. So it's hot, people do these kinds of things, you have to prepare accordingly. So for you, it's like, okay, I'm gonna now build a fence, a security fence, so I'm good. Now, if I catch you back there, really, we got an issue.
Right.
So it changes how things, yeah, but then have insurance, if you can. Like we said, we got into it about it on the show. Have some insurance, man. So when they tear your shit up, you can say, man, duck that bullet.
You still should be able to shoot him.
Right.
I just don't like violators, man. Like I said, there's some crimes that I don't take to offense. They named as offensive to me because they involve consent. But like robbing, stealing, killing, raping, those violate people's consent. And any violator of consent just need to be took on up out of here. Thieves, robbers, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but I don't. Once again, we say some things, but we don't live by them, because we say only God can judge me, right? We say that. We all say that. Only God can judge me. We say a lot of shit when it's convenient, right? but when you say, okay, well, I caught you stealing my radio, I've judged you, so I'm gonna kill you.
You violated without my consent. You have no right. You have no say so in how I reciprocate that energy.
Well, I think there always has to be a premium placed on the value of life. I think taking somebody's life, let's face it, it's the most extreme thing.
They should value their own.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I want to shoot you because you're trying to steal. I don't want to shoot you
now
because
before they take a
steal
life
my
down the
barbecue
line.
grill. I mean, you're trying to steal my barbecue grill, so I'm gonna kill you. Is a
Right,
barbecue grill versus somebody life worth somebody's life?
If he a bum ass person that didn't consider your life when he took your shit.
Well, he's stealing my barbecue grill. He didn't stick me up for it. It's late at night. He snuck in my yard. He's stealing it. He didn't ring the doorbell like, give me all the motherfucking barbecue grills, whole ass nigga.
But maybe if you rang the doorbell and said, hey man, I'm really in need right now. I gotta feed my kids. I ain't got no stove. Could I possibly borrow your grill?
And late at night, I still do, like, if you don't get the fuck off my porch.
But still, he wouldn't have got shot.
He may still have. Fuck. Shit. It depends on what premium I place on the quality of life.
I feel you.
Look at these dudes. These fuck boys in this city who are doing, a lot of cases, doing the murder. Right now, I understand this. I say this all the time. The streets got to eat. So if you're in the streets, in the street life, you're doing street shit, it is what it is. What we call it, occupational hazard, right? It is what it is, right? My baby ain't never hurt nobody, but he still got smoked at Baby's party.
You ain't the first.
Right. Shit. Now I'm just saying, But some of this shit is, you know, dudes we got into an argument. You have a mother with 10 children. A mother with 9. This has happened more than a mother with 9 children. Stabbed 49 times.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is reason. See, like for people who don't keep up with shit, this
Yeah, that's
just
depressing.
recently happened. Before that, there was a man arguing with a sister. She's the mother of 8, 9 children. He goes in the house, come back out with a gun and shoot her like 9 times.
Over an argument?
Yeah. I don't know what they was arguing about.
Okay.
Right? I don't know what you could say to the other sister for you to stab her 49 times. So that's what I'm saying. When you don't value the quality of life as an individual, I don't care. I'm flying down the motherfucking street doing 90, and I don't give a fuck. I'm running every light. I don't care if I hit somebody and tear their shit up and kill them. I don't have no value. Life ain't valuable to me. That's a sick kind of place to be. It's a sick society to live in. And don't get me wrong, I understand what you're saying, because a motherfucker know. If somebody breaking my shit inside, I'd be like, you know. But I can't say that if I came outside and you were still in my car, I would open fire. My thing would be, I need for you to get the fuck up out my yard slowly. Now, if you then I'm but this ain't gotta be that. You feel me? I would say, hey man, because I don't think it's worth, because I have insurance on the car. I can save myself a lot of motherfucking court date and a lot of attorney money.
True.
And a lot of trauma by just saying, hey man, I need to get the fuck out of my yard. Now, if you come in my house, that's different. Because that's worth the price of tea in China. If you in my house,
would you feel that way? I mean, and I understand. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean I'm hopping out my house blasting, because you know I had the situation, and I just had to watch the bum ass dude run away from my van. But that's because of law. So if the laws were different, would you still feel the same way? Like if you were legally justified?
Well, I don't see. That's the thing. I can't. And this is another thing where we talk one thing and live another, because we always talk about how unfair and unjust the law actually is and flawed as it's written, with like penal codes and all this kind of stuff. A lot of this stuff is just flawed in its construction. So when we talk about the law, I'm trying to figure out what I want to keep it in context. When you say if the law was different, meaning what?
So I'm saying if like castle law was extended, or let's say this was like Texas or some shit with stand your ground. Would you feel the same way if it's like, okay, legally they in my yard, I'm within right? Because there's some places I heard down south, what they say, if you see like a purple tag, or it's some kind of universal sign that mean cross this line and I'm blowing your ass off.
Seen that shit on Facebook. I don't even know if that's really actually true, real. I don't even know. I don't even know if that's real. That's some of that gossip shit again. That's some of that gossip shit. You seen that? He's like, I don't even know. I heard it. A purple ribbon down the tree mean you gonna blow your head off.
So right, you know, I heard that there's some places that shit you can do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying if this was one of those places where it's just the norm, like don't get me wrong, you know, I ain't looking to shoot nobody type shit. But what I'm saying is if the law allowed it, maybe motherfuckers would think twice before they come into your yard, because they know legally, like when you see these boys stealing these cars, when they was interviewing them, a lot of times they like, man, they can't do nothing to me. They got insurance. They go to jail if they shoot me. Like, so they know the law better than motherfuckers.
I've never heard anyone say that, but I'll tell you this. I don't think individuals who rob stuff out people's yards care if it's legal or not for you to kill them. I don't think they know the law before
you don't think
like,
if it came with
you can now run up in rail yard because of the law that they just passed last year. I don't think they are aware of the law like that.
They do be, man. They and a lot of times they operate like that because they know your legal limitations as a law-abiding citizen.
It's a lot of gall to have because you don't know who the fuck is in that house.
Right.
Unless you really just following a nigga around plotting on him. You got a big old set of cojones to just run it. It's the law. This motherfucker ain't gonna. You don't know if that's 5 goddamn. It might be a fucking dope house. You don't know. You don't know who's in that house. Now I will say this:
Yeah.
the law goes to a certain point, and my morality as a human, it is there. Like I decide ultimately what my own law is,
Yeah.
and if I violate the ones that they wrote, I'm subject to incarceration. But I have to have my own laws that I live by,
Mm-hmm.
and part of that is not outthinking myself or jumping too fast. What they call literally jumping the gun.
Right.
I don't have a thirst for blood to the point where when I go out that house, I'm thinking straight defensive. I'm not thinking offensive at all. Because if I'm offensive, then that means I'm looking to shoot a motherfucker.
Right. And I'm saying I ain't looking to shoot nobody. What I'm saying is I believe that if they knew it was a possibility, it would be less of that going on, because now they understand that people will be well within their rights to do that. So it's like, you know what? That shit was fun when it was fun, but now it's getting dangerous out here. I ain't gonna do it no more.
I hung around criminals a long time, and very few of them knew what the fuck the law was. Besides the basics, is that this shit is illegal, and they still didn't give a fuck. So I'm
Okay.
just saying,
Yeah.
like brothers knew, even if you in the game, you know any deal could be your last deal. You standing out here with whatever, any transaction could be your last. And whether the fuck it was legal or not, nobody checked into it. But they still did it. Like, fuck it, ain't weird. Okay, but Kevin, you know this is illegal, right? You bullshitting. This shit illegal? Ain't that a bitch? I'm gonna write my congressman. Like, I'm not like, no. That's not the streets that I'm familiar with. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing's 100% true. So I get what you're saying in that there are some criminals who may be savvy and say, no, it's cool with you. But them the guys who usually get hit with something hot because they on that bullshit, and you call the wrong person's bluff. John says, remember reasonable person law. That's why people get off or go to jail, family. You know, okay, so there's a thing, right? If I went outside my house with my 9mm and I got into a shootout with somebody who's in my yard and I hit them and they die, that's okay, boom. But if I go out, if I go out with my AK with 50 shots in the clip and unload 25 on them, my trial gonna be different.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, "Oh, you motherfucker, why you come out the
Oh,
AK
Rambo.
with a 50-shot clip? You done shot this motherfucker 25 times. You a killer. We put your ass in jail." Dion, what's going on, man?
Man, what's happening, man? What's happening?
Peace.
Okay, let me make this quick. Hey, Real, what's going on? Real, you gotta be careful with that bullshit, boy, because some of these niggas shoot back, and it'll be just your luck. You trying to shoot a motherfucker, he hit you and kill you. So sometimes we gotta be careful what we wish for, man. We gotta be, because just don't think some of these goof ass niggas will be out here breaking in the shit. They ain't got that fire.
Oh no, I already know they got shit.
Yeah. You know, you got to be trained and equipped to hit a motherfucker from a distance. So, Ken, what I was saying was, I hear a lot of shit. You know, I see this shit on Facebook. My mama would call me and tell me if shit happened. But for the most part, I used to be a faithful watcher of the news, but I work second shift now. And then after it was on COVID, they just kept talking about COVID. I got tired of that shit. But anyway, so what I was talking about, and I mean, I ain't going to knock your character. You say you live in the Pieverse, but the Pieverse is big. It's like the universe. So what I was talking about was Ron, what was his name? Vivek Ramaswamy. He was a presidential candidate. And so a lady named Ann Coulter, I don't know who she is.
I know who
but I guess she must got some. Yeah, that bitch told him that I wouldn't vote for you. I liked everything you said, but I wouldn't vote for you because you're Indian.
Is that wrong?
Flat out told. I mean, shit. But see, this is where it shocked him at. See, the thing is where people assimilate to whiteness, and he thought because he could spit the black rhetoric and talk about America is this, and I ain't never seen racism, and oh my God, I could put my head of someone's ass and just kiss it. He thought that, oh, it's gonna be hard. You're one of us. No, whiteness is an elite club, my guy. And they told you, yeah, you a billionaire, you a businessman, you this, that, and the other, but you're not white. So she told that man. So that's why it was basically so funny, and it like lit the internet on fire with that. You know what I'm saying? And I was looking at something else about white people today, and it's just funny how white people with they how can I put this? They feel like if it's equality, it's oppression, and excuse me, my acid reflux bothers me. They feel like if it's equality, then it's oppression to them. And I was like, wow, you would never think that somebody would think that, whiteness is fragile, white fragility. That's what happened January 6th. When whites feel like their rights is being violated, we got to take back our country. But yeah, though, so that's really, you know what I'm saying, what I was trying to say. I ain't know how to spell the punk name, but I would figure, you'll be a little well-rounded as far as, all the presidential people that was running for the candidacy. And, when I said the Indian guy, but
not yet.
oh, no, he out. Ain't number two people
yeah,
up
that's
in
what I'm saying. So it would have been a waste of time for me to even research him. But I will say this. I don't know that I would vote for an Indian candidate either. Well, it depends on if they wasn't saying some real thorough shit. Because
he wasn't saying that.
See, that's what I'm saying. So it would have been, that ain't the only reason, but that's part of it, right? Like, I mean, because what are your people doing in our communities right now? Like, we have a very kind of crazy relationship with y'all. But I know who Aunt Culture is. The thing is I said I live in the podverse, but I didn't say I own the podverse. I didn't say I was the Yoda of the podverse. I watch a lot of shit. I watch a lot of shit that you probably don't even watch, and vice versa.
No, I don't. Send me some. And I sent you an article. I sent you an article that you see in Pasadena, California. That article I sent you where federal court has said that just because a person is a nonviolent felon, that don't mean that their gun rights should be stripped away from them. So what I think might happen, this is just me thinking, it could go to the Supreme Court. And what the Supreme Court would do is basically put it in the hands of each state. And they say, hey, it's out of our hands. Yeah, just because a person is convicted felon, that don't mean that their gun rights should be taken away from them, but we're not going to pass that as a law of the land. We'll let each state decide on that.
And it'll be a cold day in hell for Wisconsin past that shit.
It just be a lot going on out there in that world, man. I heard President Biden was up here, and so we was talking about the election the other day, me and my lady friend, and then I was just like, with black people, because I heard somebody on the Karen Hunter show, they was just talking about like black people just tired of being fed this. It's either this or this. It's like you got some human shit on the plate, you got some dog shit. What shit you rather eat? Now both of this shit is bad for you, but what shit you rather eat? Joe Biden came out and said that he was wrong for the 94 crime bill. A lot of racist rhetoric he had said passed over the years. And I feel like because I don't vote, and people could talk bad about me, say whatever. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I just,
Dion.
What?
I'm one of them black people who believes that he doesn't have to apologize for the 94 crime bill. I you know what? Because I was in America in 94. I lived in the 80s. I seen what crack did to my community. And I can tell you something else, that most black people at the time were with it because we had enough of the bullshit.
They were. They were.
If you go back and watch the signing of that bill with Biden and Dollar Bill Clinton, and it was a whole bunch of Negro leaders there too, smiling like a motherfucker.
But you know what though? This is the thing with me, and this is where I'm at. I think we had this talk last week or a couple weeks ago. I'm tired of being indoctrinated with bullshit. They can put all just like right now, they can put all the bullshit on the screen, feed us this, slowly indoctrinating us. See, crack had did a lot to the black community, but the black community was already fucked up before crack even invaded the black community. It was just something.
Doesn't that justify the need for the crime bill even more?
No, it does not. Because instead of trying to, because you don't see them with no crime bill on this heroin and this fentanyl, they treat that as an epidemic.
No, heroin is
always.
No, Dion, you know this for a fact. Heroin has always carried heavier penalties than cocaine. Right
Yeah,
now,
but now
if you sell somebody a hot shot, you're going to jail for murder.
If they kill them, yeah. But for the
Yeah.
most part, they treat it as an epidemic, the opioid epidemic. That's what we ain't got to strictly say heroin because
No, the
heroin.
opioids are the pills. The opioids are
Yeah,
the pills.
well, yeah, well, they got the gloves on with them. But anytime, like they say, anytime whiteness gets sick, black people catch the cold. So with cocaine, because cocaine always been out here, it was a party drug. It was a party drug.
We all know the story of Richard Pryor's life.
Yeah.
Like cocaine was a party drug. We know that. That's it.
Yeah.
We're rehashing. You're regurgitating. This
Nigga,
is stuff we already know this, Dion, and you've known.
Well, basically, what I'm saying is that the '94 crime bill wasn't needed. It destroyed a lot of families. And then, okay, say it. Wait, hold on. Say if the '94 crime bill was needed. It's outdated now. Maybe back then they couldn't find other means to help people, but it's outdated. But it still affects people, though.
How's it outdated now if we have another opioid
because it's
epidemic?
Outdated.
We have another drug epidemic, though. So that proves that it's
but
still
they ain't
needed.
treating that. But they're not treating that like
Maybe they
did
need to apply it, and the opioid epidemic would end like the crack epidemic waned. Not over.
Well, maybe
people
that's
still
what
smoke crack, but it ain't nowhere near what it once was.
Yeah.
Was the crack bill signed?
Crime bill. Go ahead, Real.
Oh no, I was gonna ask, was the crack bill signed before we found out the Contra's role in moving that shit into the
No, I mean, well, we knew that anyways. We just got done talking about. We knew. Hold on, stop it. We ain't gonna play naive on this bullshit. Now hold on. Goddamn, Gary Webb wrote that article about the CIA putting cocaine in the community in the early 80s. Okay. We knew about the Iran-Contra affair in 1987 when Oliver North went down. At this point, we knew that the government was bringing this shit in. We had put 2 and 2 together since goddamn 84. We knew, hey, well, we're not growing this shit here. If you watch Miami Vice, in 1984, they was telling you the shit coming from South America. We knew this, but it didn't wane.
I don't think they knew it. They knew, like, there's a difference between knowing something. Like, we knew that we came over here as slaves, and they told us that our own African people sold us into slavery. But now we know a little bit more about it. So yeah, we knew about it then, but we wasn't as knowledgeable as it was as we are now.
If you chose not to be knowledgeable. Because especially if you was caught up in selling it, you didn't give a fuck where it came from. And there was so many people caught in the rapture of it, whether they were using or selling, that it was like, okay, we know this shit's coming from South. Everybody knows this shit. Black people got to stop acting like that. And stop. I was in the damn community. That crime bill was needed. Sorry if your cousin and uncle and them got locked up. The community was fucked up. And it still is.
I don't think.
But some of them dudes was cold-blooded murderers. Some of these dudes was pushing death at a high clip to their own people. So they deserve to go to jail. They deserve
I don't know. I mean, I beg to differ. I just feel like I don't feel like
the unfair part is that not everybody went to jail. Now, if you want to talk about what's bad, we talk about mass incarceration. That's an unfortunate side effect of this.
That wasn't part of the '94 crime bill, the mass incarceration.
That's the result of it. That's the result of it. What do you mean? That's the result of it.
Now you confusing me now.
You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. Listen, because, there's a 90. Listen, no. Hold on. I'm gonna unconfuse you. I'm gonna unconfuse you. There's the crack epidemic. There's drugs running rampant. The '94 crime bill comes along, creates mandatory minimums. It basically and the RICO laws and all, just the same way the RICO laws ruin the mob and organized crime. This shit comes in. If we catch you with your hands on it, you're getting time after time, like Cindy Lauper say. Who's getting caught with the shit? Black men. So what you get? Mass incarceration. It wasn't written in the crime bill. We finna start locking niggas' ass up. That ain't what it said. It created mandatory minimum. No, it's not the same thing.
So if the '94 crime bill was never wrote or was never, they never passed the law, would it be still mass incarceration? Yes or no?
it's always been an elevated incarceration level, but I don't know that it would be the way it is now because, like I said, it brought forth mandatory minimums. And if you look at Wisconsin, where we have truth in sentencing, it changed the very way people were sentenced for crimes. This is why you get women who, like you said, tore families apart because women went to jail. They didn't raise their kids. Fathers went to jail. Fathers got killed on the street. It did break up families. But what the fuck was you going to do? Nothing? Just sit here and say, this shit'll blow over pretty soon.
Do you think that the crime bill was I guess, do you think that the whole Gary Webb shit was to create a problem with the crime bill always being a plan or agenda? Like,
no, that shit wasn't there was in 84, 83, when he reported out, the crime bill was 10 years later. He was already dead. They said he shot himself in the head with his left hand and he was right-handed.
Right, twice, I think they said.
Right, twice. He missed it. Ow, damn. I mean, there's so much.
Well, you heard?
There's obviously a government conspiracy here. I'm not like denying that. I'm not even saying that the incarceration has torn our community apart. The part that we should be discussing of it is addressing the improprieties within our justice system, saying at one point white defendants get released and exonerated for the same crimes that we commit and get time for. That's where the problem comes. But it's also these motherfuckers going to jail and they ain't got lawyers. So what did you do with your dope money? You bought some sneakers and a gold chain.
I don't know. I just feel like Joe Biden
too busy buying golden Cadillacs, right? Like, what did
I just feel like Joe Biden should at least try to make amends with signing that bill.
Okay. Hey, you're gonna make menthol cigarettes illegal. What you want from him?
I don't smoke cigarettes no more. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
I don't even smoke cigarettes no more.
Dion, hold on a
Yeah,
second.
no,
Hold on, Dion. Let me catch my chat room.
Go ahead.
Mama Jenkins, shout out to Mama Jenkins in the chat room. She says 42 homicides as of today, 36 vehicle deaths, and the dude taped her up and put her in the trunk of a car. That's the stabbing dude. Okay.
Wow.
The stabber. She says she just put a post up saying no trespassing, and that means stay the hell off my properties unless you are invited back here. My car got broken into in my driveway. So I was told to post a sign up by the police to stay off my property or come in at your own risk. That means your ass is mine. She said teach and refresh. I take a Dion, and I hope you and everybody else understand this. I'm a real cynical individual, right? And I'm hard on my people. No dick. Right. Like I think we have to be hard on each other. We have to be, you know what I'm saying? Like it's time for us to really start really holding ourselves accountable for our position. I say stop playing the game, stop complaining about the game and play the game. Or else what you doing? And we keep sitting around complaining about they put their people in power, they hide, and we don't get no job and no money. You watch Hmong people, you watch Somali people, you watch all these other people come here from third world countries and don't have shit and get it together and bubble up. And we still sitting around complaining about some shit. We still complain about some shit that happened in 1932.
Well, listen, okay, listen. Let me talk real quick. I know you like to, you like to get the flow like me. This is the end result. This is the end result of what happened. You understand what I'm saying? See, people can sit up there and be like, always y'all choice and this, that, and the other and blah, blah, blah. And we need to hold our own people accountable. And listen, man, this is the end result of everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I don't even know what it'll take for people. And then I hear this a lot of time. I had a talk with my guy the other day. You know what I'm saying? When these people, and see, the thing is, though, and that's what I wanted you to understand about that with Vivek Ramaswamy. If you ain't black, when these Asians and Hmongs and everything, they have a chance because the United States is not indoctrinated towards them. They indoctrinated a lot of people. People can look at you. I get out this semi-truck every day, and white people still look at me like I ain't shit. They've been indoctrinated to have a, wait, hold on, listen. They've been indoctrinated to have a negative connotation about us. So when it comes, that's where that systematic racism playing a part. So when we go out here to try to find jobs and make our life better, You know, it's the reason why everybody doesn't own a home. You understand? Because they read. I mean, and we could talk about this. We could go in circles talking about it. It's not a lot of things. Some things is out of our control, and we've been conditioned. So this is the end result of what you see.
Bullshit. That's that bullshit. Listen,
it's not bullshit, man.
Dion, when I see people living, they're perpetuating their own cycle of dysfunction. They are choosing to not try, choosing to not. And I'm not saying, I'm not shaming poor people. I know some people are in poverty and they come from situations where it's like, man, shit's just crazy. But there are a lot of people who choose to be this way. You can talk to them and they'll tell you, I don't give a fuck. Why you been doing that? I don't give no fuck. They are choosing this.
Maybe they can't.
Hold on. No, this ain't no white man. Because if I ask most people, they say, a white man got me down. I say, what's his name? What's his name? Now, if you can say the Proskashewitz who live in Sherwood, they did this, that, I say, oh, that's fucked up. But most of the time, what white man? What white man? Who he did what? Oh, he made a law. They won't let a nigga have shit. Well, okay, well, if that's your mentality, what can be said to you? I can't say no. Here's a path, man. Get on it. Now it takes dedication. It does take accountability. It does take for a motherfucker who's daily on the block, Dion, and we all know this. And Dion, you know, I love your perspective, but at the end of the day, you got to think about yourself because you ain't now a motherfucker standing on the block, shooting up the block, slanging dope, slanging crack. Hold on. You made a choice that I ain't gonna do that shit no more because I don't have to. I can do something better. I can be better. I can move better. You're that guy. So you can't sit up here and tell me about, oh man, these people, the white man in the community, see, back in 1858, they wrote a law where black men can't have two left shoes. See, every time I put on my left shoe, I get pulled over. This is the kind of shit we be doing. Motherfuckers putting up a post about Pinocchio, talking some shit about Pinocchio is an old white man who's making puppets with slave skin, and people sharing this shit.
I want to ask you
that shit ain't even true.
Wait, listen, hold on. So say you got kids.
I do have.
So
kids.
Say you got some kids. Wait, no, I'm not. Well, hold on, let me finish. So say you have some children. They about to go to a tournament, whatever academic tournament. Mm-hmm. They have books that's out. They using books from 1986. It's outdated.
It's not
true.
You
got the white people.
That's not
listen,
true.
I'm giving you a scenario.
But it's not true, though, Dion. No school in this city has books from 1986. There's no school that has that.
Okay, but just listen to me, please.
Okay. All right.
They got books from 1986, and then they dealing with the white people. They got books fresh off the press. Them motherfuckers say 2028, and it ain't even 2028 yet. Do you think the people that got the books from 1986 can be competitive with the people that got the books from 2028?
There's no school in this city that has books. Now, you want to go to the library and check out a book that may have been written in 1986? There's no school in this city, even the worst school, ain't using textbooks from 1986. And white schools, hold on, and even the best white schools ain't got books that's in 2028. So you can stretch the scenario out and say, man, they training white people to be astronauts. They won't even let niggas be janitors. That's not true.
I think it all goes to mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel what Dion's saying. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the competitiveness, but I think the internet kind of killed all that because now we can just download the shit. But on the flip side, just playing devil's advocate, you see kids in Africa from a poor ass third world country reverse engineering electric vehicles with old Lego blocks and tamarind seeds and shit. So it's a mindset thing, you know what I'm saying?
Piss powered engine and shit. They just
right.
pissed in the engine, driving all over the desert.
The only thing I'm saying, man, is that this is the end result of what have been perpetuated for 400 years. And I know it's hard for people to believe, and I know people want to think it's equality out here, and racism is ended, and we just living in one big hunky-dory world, but that's not it.
Dion.
That's just like we just talked about. Hold on, let me finish. I'm about to get off because I'm going to listen to you. So my gal just talked. That's just like you just talked about the 94 crime bill. Think about the fathers that was incarcerated from the 94 crime bill that ain't out here to guide they ain't out here to guide their children, and their children out here playing roller derby up and down the street, killing motherfuckers.
From 94, from 94, from 94.
That's the end result. It's the end result. The 94 crime bill still damn near in effect.
Well, first of all,
it ain't had no retro date.
Let me correct this, because I know you, Dion, and you'll run with a narrative. I am not saying we live in that there's no racism. I'm not saying we live in a utopia. I'm not saying equality and we got all our rights and all this. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, as a person of color, there are choices you can make in this country right now where you can bubble up. You don't have to stay, and I think Abrel just said it. It depends on your state of mind.
Mindset.
Right? But my old folks say reprobated mind. I don't know, them old church people say, "Oh, that boy got reprobated mind. He ain't trying to do better no more. He like, fuck it." When you give up, right? We just talk about survival mode on the show, and it's a different mindset than, I'm trying to come up. Because when you say, man, you know what, I got to be more disciplined. I ain't going to go here. I ain't going to go there. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop doing that. Now you're making choices. You're making adjustments. When you in survival mode, you like, shit, it's whatever. Hey, man, what you on? Shit, chilling. Hey, man, let's go hit this lick. Shit, nigga, pick me up. I'm outside.
I mean, to Dion's point, though, I do know that you have to know better exists to seek better. Like I was watching. I was watching Glorilla on that Club Shay Shay shit.
He said Glorilla.
And Glorilla, she was on there one time, and she was saying she don't trust men, and she don't believe that any man is shit. But then she said because of how she seen her brothers, cousins, and friends treat women. So a lot of times our reality is as small as the world we live in, because you gotta kind of know better. Like I watched this podcast called Social Proof in the morning. It's just different Black entrepreneurs talking about how they made their first million. Like before I started watching that, $1 million day was nothing I could even fathom. But then you hear motherfuckers talking about they had $1 million day selling e-courses or doing high ticket mentoring and shit. So before I was exposed to that, I didn't know it existed. I know families out there that the whole family, they work during the week, get drunk on the weekends, and still might pull up to family fights and shit. So if you grow up in like that kind of family, that might be your reality and all you know. This is just what we gonna do. I'm a work every day, get drunk on the weekends and shit, and I'm gonna stand on business when somebody disrespecting my family.
Okay, so let me just run that all down for you, even starting with Glorilla. This is entirely what you call willful ignorance. Because because something happened to you, you choose to say, I will never trust a man. Yeah, I seen some things, so you're gonna cut off a whole part of your life that could be something great. Because that means you're gonna have one hitter quitters. You'll never have a real relationship. You have a bunch of kids by a bunch of different dudes, right? That's number one. You've chosen to be ignorant. You've chosen to say, I can't really put what a couple people did on everybody, because that's intelligence. That's emotional intelligence. That's understanding of things. So she has chosen to be ignorant, right? And so those people who you were talking about, yeah, I still roll, I still ride. You're choosing to be ignorant because
they
you
don't
know
better. They ain't been
you do know
exposed to
better.
better.
You know life ain't supposed to be about you motherfuckers shooting up shit all the goddamn time and fighting and shooting. I don't care if you from that family, you know this shit is fucked up. And even the most worst person in the family will tell you, man, my life is fucked up. All we do is fucking get in drama. You're not ignorant. You're choosing to participate. Let me catch my call. Ewok,
I'm gone, kid. I'm gonna jump on this highway.
All right, you send me your number. I'm gonna hit you, Dion. Okay, we got Ewok.
I am a mountain. I am a tall tree.
Oh, I am a swift wind. I'm looking for Courtney.
Oh, man.
Anybody ask you who I am? What up, dog?
I don't know if you would want to be singing.
You know that sound good. You just jealous. You hate that nigga. You.
I am the hater. I'm the hater, right? I'm the hater.
That might just be a
Super
dangerous
hater,
song to
super
sing.
hater in the house.
It would have been cool until you said, "I'm looking for Courtney." That shit was dead.
I did say Courtney, motherfucker.
I know. That's what made it lame. What made it lame.
No, I didn't. Nigga, when she see this show later on, she gonna be like, oh.
One thing you know about Courtney is if she ain't on here, she ain't watching the goddamn show, so she'll never hear your shit.
You'll see it later on.
What's happening, man?
It's in the archive. It's in the archive. Yeah. What's going on, bro?
Ain't shit to it. What's happening with you?
Hey, man, I agree with everybody, man. Dion right. You right. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Never forget the history of it. You know what I'm saying? You trying to say, basically, you kind of sounded like fuck the history of everything. And that shit don't matter. Just do what you do anyway, and everything is everything.
Never said that, but okay.
When a motherfucker got buried, where people got barriers in front of you for 400 years and shit, you know what I'm saying?
God.
That shit is a motherfucking psychological. Nah, see, I'm not trying to. I told you was right too. Don't do me like you did, Dion. Allow me to finish, motherfucker.
No, that's how you get cut off by talking to me like that. That's a surefire way for me to cut you off.
Man, come on, stop it. I'm just trying to say you can't do that.
Well,
you know,
damn it, come on with it. Come on.
You can't not acknowledge what the past is. You know what I'm saying? Just because you want to move forward, you have to acknowledge it too, and move forward. You have to know how to do both. That's the only point that I'm trying to say to you right now. I'm not making no excuses, just like you don't make no excuses. But you still have to acknowledge, you know. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. You know, I think that's what Dion was trying to get you to see as well. You know what I'm saying? You at least got to acknowledge. You don't have to dwell on it, but you don't have to sit there and try to pretend like ain't nobody throwing rocks and putting pebbles in front of you while you trying to run.
Who said that? Other person, who said that? I never said that. I've never said that.
I didn't say you. I'm not talking to you personally about what I'm saying. I'm just trying to give you an understanding about what Dion was trying to say. You still have to acknowledge that, you know what I'm saying? Some people get past the baton, you know what I'm saying? And they got something to start with before you, which makes it tougher. That doesn't mean that you can't still grow. That doesn't mean that you can't still build. But you still have to acknowledge it. You just can't ignore it. That's part of the history.
I'm trying to figure out who you direct this at, because, and this is a valid question. Because oftentimes when we talk, especially when we talk in like general terms, right? Like you said, I heard you say, correct me if I'm wrong, you said, I'm not talking to you individually. This ain't about you, Kevin. This is in general. So you're talking to the people, the masses of the people, right?
Exactly, the masses. You know, just like Malcolm and Elijah Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? We have to get our shit in order, just like you were saying. I'm giving you your credit for that. If we get ourselves together, we won't need nobody to fucking give us anything or help us. But we still can't forget what happened before. You know, you don't just get to do that. Because if you forget what happened in the past, then you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a good chance that it's going to repeat itself. So you have to be careful with what you say sometimes. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I wouldn't advise anybody to forget anything. I've never said that. And this is me. Once again, this is me. This has nothing to do with what you just said. I am not a person who tells people to forget about what's happened. What I'm saying is understand what happened, why it happened, how it happened, know when it happened, and then move on. And you move on according to the lessons that you learned from it. Hell no, I ain't gonna say the Middle Passage and slavery and the Jim Crow era and, you know, institutionalized racism, segregation, discrimination. I'm never gonna say that shit ain't still popping and it hasn't happened to us. What I'm saying is we have to do our best to create such systems and situations where we can move on. We could just, you know.
I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? So we're not in a disagreement. You know what I'm saying? So let's for everybody listening, we're far, you know what I'm saying, from being in disagreement with each other. You know what I'm saying? We're just speaking about different aspects of the situation. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. And some things need to be said.
There's a lot of brothers who I've had this debate with about this crime bill, and they totally disagree with me on it. They totally disagree with me. I understand that, but I have to go and revisit my own childhood where I saw and witnessed horrific things, where I saw my community fall off of a pedestal. Where I saw one of the most beautiful Black communities that you ever have known. Black Wall Street, my ass. My neighborhood in the 70s, early 80s, and whenever before I came, a jewel. I watched what happened to it via crack cocaine, right?
Now, would it have just
your neighborhood
crack,
and I know that was a beautiful neighborhood. I lived there. I know where is that.
That's why I say that's what my reasoning for understanding the need for that legislation. How it was implemented, its long-term effects have been negative for us. But what we didn't do is go back and reassess. See, we didn't go back and say, okay, like somebody said, okay, by 2006, 2005, this shit done waned. Hey, man, we got to start talking about reform, criminal justice reform.
Yeah.
We should have turned back and did that. We should have.
It's a cold world. It's a cold world out here, man. And you know what I'm saying? Shit. It got like I said, I'm not sitting here trying to disagree with you, but it's a cold world. You got to realize that. You know what I'm saying? We got the ass end of the stick on that part. Shit, the white people getting the ass end of the stick on this opiate shit, but the black people is on that shit too. You know what I'm saying? But hey, what we got to realize is, man, it's a cold world. At the end of the day, we fucked up too. But you know what I'm saying? We didn't float and fly that goddamn crack around this motherfucker into motherfucking 19th and Capitol, and you know it. You know goddamn well. We didn't even know how to.
We didn't fly it, but we grabbed that shit and went to distributing. We jumped in on that.
And I got me some money too.
See,
look, I'm guilty. I'm guilty too. I got me some money, bought me some speakers and some subs.
We love you, Columbia. We love you, Columbia.
Look, I'm accountable for some of that shit too. I'm owning my shit.
Shout out to
I bought me some motherfucking shit too. I got some shit too.
What did he say on Friday when he said how much money you got left? He said, "Let me see. I bought some shoes." Rail,
I ain't gonna
trying to get in here, Rail. What was you finna put in there?
Oh no, I was just asking, because I don't, since I wasn't older to be aware of what was going on. Like, how much was it crack moving into the community, and how much was it jobs moving out the community? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Because we children,
we wasn't paying attention. We was selling crack.
Well, that's a good question, but it's the perfect storm, Rail, because when that money, because that was the basis of our economy, especially for Black Milwaukee. Majority of our grandfathers, our fathers, our uncles, they worked in these big, and they was able to raise their families. When that leaves for the next generation coming, at the same time, this comes in. It ain't just about smoking, it's about selling it.
Right.
Because the selling part made it a three-headed monster. There's addiction, and then there's drug selling, and then there's what comes with drug sales and drug activity, which is murder, mayhem, drug addicts stealing,
and rappers,
shooting, looting.
And rappers glorified it. And rappers glorified it too. Made it seem like that was a shit to do, man.
So it's both of them.
I'm finna double up. They making raps and everything about it and shit. You riding around in your car with a motherfucking ounce, dimed all the way up and popping that whole bitch off in about half a day. Shit, you killing them. You know what I'm saying?
It goes together though, Rail. And that's what happened too, because those jobs did leave at the same time. And it was like, if you go back and look it up, I think between 78 and 83, there's 300,000 plus jobs lost.
Damn.
In Milwaukee, right? And this is all historically documented. They had a job fair at one of these large corporations, and the line was outside around the block twice because that many men were laid off, right? There was men everywhere who had been working steadily for 35 years, you know, all of a sudden, and that wage ain't replaced.
Right.
So what comes in? Either you sad because you got laid off and you do some crack, or you mad because you laid off and you get you some crack to sell it. And then all the other shit comes in. Now we get this excess like Ernest talking about. Then it becomes rims. Oh, wait a minute. Black people, a black man with a Gucci belt. Oh, a Rolex. You know what? This shit is
now
worth,
you targeted.
Yeah, now this
now
shit is
you
worth
targeted.
I'll shoot every motherfucker on this block for me to have this watch. I'll sell all the crack I can to pregnant women. I don't give a fuck about these kids. So what? The bitch lost her kids. She need to come down here and get high. It went like it became this ripple effect. Now, my point is, there was a point where black people said, we need help. We need something. Something got to be done. I know this because I was in the church. My dad was in the church. The church was crying
and there you
out
go.
to the
and you
Lord.
come with the crime bill.
You
could have come with the crime bill. We was begging for the crime bill to help stop it. That's what you were about to say, ain't you? And some people
you've heard me say this before. You've heard me say it before.
So instead of giving jobs or bringing jobs back, they came.
I already know.
What you say, Rail?
I said, so instead of finding ways to bring jobs back, they came with the crime bill.
Exactly. But okay, you're right. So that's what happened and that was us on our part. We were so fucking knocked off by this shit that we wasn't even, I don't think black people was even looking that far ahead. I think we thought that they would bring the jobs back eventually.
It sounded like it was by design. It sounded like they moved the jobs out, put the crack in, and then
it
got
was
to the point where we asked for our own further oppression.
It's by design in the fact that President Ronald Reagan's economic policy was trickle down effect. It was trickle down economics. I'm sorry. Trickle down economics, which means we're going to make sure the rich get richer, and eventually they'll do something that poor people can benefit off of, like start a business or something like that. The shit didn't work. So what you had in the 80s was the rich got richer and the poor got poorer. That's why they call it the decade of greed. Because you've seen the stock market and you've seen all this blue collar shit, and you've seen, we got this old infrastructure. Tear that shit down. You get a construction company. You get one. You get a contract, right? You're selling military equipment because to go down in Iraq and fight these wars and to go help Israel, you have to manufacture arms. Who owns the arms manufacturing company?
Like what's going on right now?
Families. Say that again.
So it's like what's going on right now?
You could say in some situations today is an extension of it. But you had other cities that rebounded differently. Like, so we talk about, I just referenced the city of Minneapolis. We're all in the same radius: Detroit, Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis. Okay. They went through the same thing. Their leadership was a little bit more forward thinking and saying, we're going to go into the service industry. Okay, the industrial shit ain't what it is no more. We want to invite Fortune 500 companies here now. We want to get manufacturers to build distribution centers. So the money the jobs came, it stayed rather.
Okay.
You know.
Hey, Kev.
Yes, sir.
Give me one trick. You and Rail. Dig this. Man, that shit is a design. They tested that shit on lab motherfucking monkeys and rats and everything before they even gave a real person some fucking crack. If some motherfucking mad scientist and shit said,
they get the monkeys some crack.
You get. You don't think they do that shit?
No. It's just funny when I think about monkeys. Monkeys, dope fiend monkeys. Like, what do dope fiend monkeys perform? Like what do they do?
Man, listen to me.
They don't go get no bananas no more or nothing. They just lay around, just steal other niggas' bananas. Like,
See, you sound simple as hell and shit. Talk about some bananas, man.
What else do monkeys do?
Man,
what else do monkeys do? It's not like they work for General Motors.
That's all you think monkeys do is eat bananas. Nigga, go to the zoo and give a monkey a goddamn. You ain't never seen a video of them monkeys smoking cigarettes and shit. They be smoking the shit out them motherfuckers. They get the nicotine.
I know.
Nigga.
But listen, I'm talking about crackhead monkeys that's not living on North Avenue. Hey man, family of monkeys just moved in, and he could go in the store get
all
some
I'm
Newport.
saying is a mad scientist done. The only point I'm trying to make is some mad, sick ass motherfucker. They knew what was going to happen to a human being and shit if they got addicted to that shit before they sucked the motherfucking shit in the motherfucking ghetto, man. They knew what the effect of that shit was gonna be already. It's just like putting people in projects and shit. When you put people in the projects and shit, you know what I'm saying, in a 100-foot motherfucking 100-floor building and shit, and that's all they got is the upstairs or downstairs and shit. And every day they gotta see the same motherfucker every day. They gonna be mad. Like, man, I see this motherfucker every day. I'm sick of this motherfucker. Every time I come out the house, he outside the house. You know what I'm saying? Everything can be psychologically, you know what I'm saying, fuck with you. That's what the projects did. They put everybody in this small spot where they see the same people every day. They all do the same shit. And it's mentally fucking with you.
Except
you know
for the
what
people
I'm saying?
who moved out.
Period.
Except for the people who said enough of this shit. I'm moving. I'm getting my family out of
Yeah.
here. You know?
Some people can't get out the
one monkey
motherfucker.
stopped the show. Ewok, hold on a second. Let me catch my
Right.
chat room. Mama Jenkins
Yes,
said,
sir. I'm gonna get off here, man. While you get, I'm gonna get off here while you do that.
all right, peace and love, bro.
All right, one love.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Ewok, man. Mama Jenkins says, Dion, where's common sense? We all know that these corner hustlers don't give a damn about nothing. We know that we can do better. I do understand what Dion's saying, but we are our own worst enemy. Dion said, not only did crack destroy the community, jobs moving out of the community, highways being built, and don't forget Reaganomics.
Yeah.
He said it was a personal choice to smoke crack. Did nobody put crack up to their lips? It was a personal choice to sell it too, regardless of how poor you were. There are people in this country throughout history who have grown up in very poor conditions and they worked their way up. They didn't sell crack, right? They didn't go rob somebody. This is my problem now with you stick up kids in the city. You know, if, like we said, if you're in the street, you're in the street, but leave hardworking motherfuckers alone. Man done worked his ass off to get him a car, get him a house, you know, do whatever he chose to do. And you gonna come take it from him? That's why I always understand when you be like, I hate thieves. You know, it's a very dishonorable criminality, right? Like, it's like, this motherfucker a thief. You can't trust him as far as you can spit on him. I understand that. I still don't think, though, some of the stuff that they steal is worth me killing them for.
And I'm not saying that I want to shoot nobody. Like, I don't want that to get to. I'm saying you should be there should be a law that allows it, because I believe just the fact that there's a law that would allow it would deter some of the people from doing it. You know what I'm saying? Just like how y'all be saying how bank people who do these traffic violations, because the possibility of getting banked will make a person think twice before they even put themselves in that predicament. I think the possibility of a law-abiding citizen not being limited within that law would make them think twice before taking something, because it could possibly come with a shot in the ass.
It damn sure could, and a lot of times it does, right? And there's some unreported cases where motherfuckers getting that. Some of these people getting shot, you say, "Oh, that was too bad," and then you find out the whole story. Like, damn, why was he doing that? So I be like, whoa.
A lot of times we be, oh, that's tragic. The crime is terrible, and then you find out, well, nah, they got killed trying to rob somebody else.
I mean, those stories, right? Is those stories? I found this out because we are always talking about us on Outlaw Radio. People, that's why when people say, "What's the topic?" Everything, right? We're always talking about us. We talk about our relationship. We talk our relationships. We talk about how we relate to each other, and so we're always talking about Black love and the unity. Because I'm big on solidarity. That's what I believe our people really need, and that starts in the home, your family. You know, how we deal with our women, how they deal with us. And so we're always calling out bed wenches, right? But I've been watching this show for a couple years, and I think it's very funny, which is Abbott Elementary, right? Like, this shit's funny to me, right? My wife is always like tripping, like, you watch that's your show. I'm like, yeah, this shit's funny, it's clever, it's well written, it's a great take on what goes on in inner city public schools. But then we find out that the sister Quita Brunson is a bed wench.
I wouldn't use those terms, but yeah, she got a Caucasian husband
that she's been hiding.
She
did
said
to Drake.
she didn't want him to be scrutinized and
Yeah.
ridiculed.
Yeah, you didn't want nobody to know, because why is that though?
Right. That.
Because if you're convinced that this is you and this is what you want, who gives a shit what somebody thinks?
But
Right?
we'll say that about but you know what? While on the flip side, we'll say like the young rapper boy who was asked about his lifestyle, and he's not ashamed of it. Saying, "Oh, okay, you asked me, I'll tell you." Like so it's kind of it's like why she hiding hers, she ashamed, but it's like why he's so
But no,
unashamed that he
because
is.
with him, he talking about smashing another man butt. With her, we're talking about a heterosexual relationship where you're a grown ass woman married to a grown ass man. It's apples and oranges. If
And
you wanted to drive that way, you could say that. But what he's talking about, and first of all, didn't nobody really ask him that?
they had brought up the
He
question.
explained it. He explained it all when he said, "I had relations with a man, and it is what it is. All my guys knew, right? And so everybody knew this. Boom, done. Let's talk about my music."
But that's what I'm saying. Like
He
her
then
choice.
interjected about, "Oh, you got it twisted though. Oh, I was
No, I'm just saying, like
cracking."
her choice to be more private with hers is like, why she hiding? You know, and I ain't saying it's wrong because honestly, I had just told my lady because we watched the show too. But I said, you know what?
I didn't know you watched it. I didn't know you watched it.
Yeah, but I watch it for the janitor. That nigga funny as hell, man.
He is old school as that motherfucker crazy,
But
ain't he?
I'm getting tired of that whole will they, won't they relationship between everybody hates Chris and her.
Yeah, well,
So that was already kind of putting me off of it. But then when I seen this, like, damn, she right for like, well, I guess I can't say she right for black people because it's a diverse setting on that show.
There's a lot of black people involved, and it's her show. She created it. She's the lead writer, I'm guessing. And this is this story.
I think she won some kind of award for being like a black.
She's highly decorated. This show has been a hit. They won Emmys and the whole joint. It's just major.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that Emmy was because she was black, but she did win.
Oh, I'm saying as a black creator, her show has won. It's a award-winning show.
So I'm wondering if that's why she felt she had to be a little more private because it's like she's esteemed for being a black woman writer.
So let me understand this. She can write a show where she can tease a relationship between her and a black man and play it out on TV, but she can't say in real life I'm married to a white man, and that's who I really love. She chose not to do that, which means she chose to be deceptive. She admitted she'd been hiding young Andy.
I can't get on her because I just found out my homie Ernie Hudson got a,
I seen that too.
So I can't go hard on
Steve Urkel just married a Icelandic queen in the park,
and they've been good for years. I think 20 something years. So they good. But so I can't be I can't be a hypocrite and get on her and leave Ernie alone.
I'm still gonna watch the show, real. But she's in fact a bad wench, and she, it is what it is, right? We're quick to slap a label on brothers who be that Uncle Tom ass nigga, sellout ass nigga, white folks nigga. So with sisters, you get it too when you as Dion would say, what you hiding for? We see you, we see you, and her excuse is horrible. I just didn't want to be scrutinized. Then why the fuck you marry him? Why would you marry somebody when you going down the aisle saying, "Shit, this shit is cool as long as I don't tell nobody"?
I don't know her motive, but I mean, I feel you though. We was having the same discussion in the house the other day.
Hey, it's funny how you had these discussions with your wife and it translate over to the show, right? Because I surely had the conversation with mine, and she said, "But you still gonna watch the show?" I said, "Yes, I'm still gonna watch it. It's fun."
I don't know if I am, man. Like, because just this last episode I watched, I'm like, I'm so fucking tired of this will they, won't they shit going on. I'm like,
I mean, what you expect them to do? Hook up and just screw on the desk one day? And like, it has to be a
Real shit. Even though it's her show, I kind of was happy when she was off the motherfucker working at the school board. Like I was hoping she left and just kind
That
of.
was a good look. They shouldn't have brought her back to the school. I agree with
like,
you.
they should get a janitor his own spinoff or some shit like that.
He should, because he's hilarious.
Mr.
Old school
Johnson.
hilarious. He is funny. Yeah. The one sister is funny too, the principal. But I think they just make her like this season. They tried to make her more legitimate. Like,
yeah, she's a little too ghetto fabulous, but
this year they made her where she's actually, when she spin these tales, she's not lying. All of a sudden,
right.
She Quest Love in, and
like
you know the quarterback and all. So it's kind of like, okay, well, we want to see you still be wild and crazy and ignorant as fuck, like she was like before. She was just running the school. Like, what? What the fuck's wrong with the principal?
I just like how big she is. That's a big old lady.
She's a stand-up comic. She has a long career. Yeah. She's been a stand-up comic for a very long time. That's a sister who worked and got her break, man.
That's dope.
I don't know if she's gonna join the Bed Wench Club now or if she's already in it, but shout out to all the Bed Wenches out there.
Damn. Like I don't know.
Don't please your master.
I don't know, man. I guess all I can say is don't be crying about him calling you nigga when y'all divorced and shit. Like,
well, it's Holly Berry type shit.
Don't pull a Holly if y'all don't make it.
Yeah, Holly Berry was on that train. And now every time he says, "Hey, you fucking nigger," and take this fucking nigger nappy-headed child. She was like, "Oh my god!" And I gotta pay him $10,000 a month. Yeah, you thought White Ice was colder. Now you got your ass caught up, right? Mama Jenkins said I'm going to Boston for graduation, so I really need my gear soon, please. Mama Jenkins, okay, I got to revisit your order. Send me what you want, and I know you've done it before, so I know she's gonna be like, God damn it, send me what you want to wear on the trip, and I can give it to my wife and get her to get it done for you, and so we can take it. It'd be faster if I just give it to her. I'd be on some bullshit, but yeah, man, I don't. No, and believe me, I don't care who you marry, right? But I can say this amongst my people, that I got some partners who married to white girls or white women, and they real dudes, right? Like you don't want to see him head up, he's still a real dude. But most of the brothers who I know who marry white women fit into a certain kind of type. Not all of them. Nothing is 100% true, but it's that thing where their blackness is compromised and they willing to eat it up, right? Like, and they willing to go in there, and they have two lives. They have their black life and then they have their white life. I've never wanted a white life. I always wanted to just be black 24/7 round the clock. Everything I do, black people, fuck with black people, listen to black music, eat black food, wear black clothes. This is my love for who I am. So when I see a brother who's married to a white woman or vice versa, I say, I wonder if that motherfucker's still down with us. Most of the time they're not, because they can't be, because they're compromised, because they chose a partner on the other side. Where do the concessions begin at? Right? When she says, no, Darrell, no, those police aren't, they are prejudiced. You were going too fast. You say, you right, baby, you right. Kev said discrimination was over on Outlaw Radio. Or do you say, nah, man, what the fuck? You don't think these motherfuckers is targeting me? You don't notice the difference in the way he treated me? She doesn't. She can't understand it. So I don't know if that's that for some of us, that's not important. For me, that's important for a partner. I want to be able to talk to my lady like a black man, and I want her to respond like a black woman. I don't need to have to explain certain shit. Like, why do you all ask who made a potato salad? Like, that's some black shit. We all know the answer to that. I don't need to explain that to you. I don't need you to say, I would cook, but I don't know how you want it seasoned. Eating is a part of my life. I need to eat. I'm gonna need for you to know how to, do some black stuff in the kitchen. It's my personal preference, and she's a bed wench, so it is what it is.
Jeez.
Her and Serena Williams will live happily ever after, right?
Damn.
All right. Shit's changing, man. Shit's changing. I'm tripping because Red Lobster's closed. They're closing restaurants business, retail, all this shit's changing. You know, we got food trucks now, people selling and dropping off plates. Remember, Red Lobster was like a top tier. I don't know, maybe this was just the black community, but if you was going to Red Lobster, you was spending some bread.
Yeah.
That was top notch. Not for Red Lobster.
You went for birthdays, graduations, and Mother's Day.
And it was special. It was special, wasn't it? It was like, dog, we went to Red Lobster, man. Shit. I mean, listen, as a father, as a young father, my wife and I, we work all week. A big thing for us was to have enough money, take our baby girl, sit down at Red Lobster, get us some biscuits, some calamari. You feel me? Order. You know the bill gonna be heavy as a bitch because it's Red Lobster. They got live lobster swimming in the tank. That shit went belly up. I'm so old. I remember when Ponderosa, like going to Ponderosa was like, dude, we going to Ponderosa to eat.
Right.
It's like, what? That shit been out of business so long. It's like one left in the whole state.
I think it's in the Dells, ain't it?
It's somewhere up north. It might be in the Dells or close. I know it's one left. But Red Lobster is kind of a shocker to me because, and I don't know if this is these girls going on social media talking about if you take me on a date, take me to motherfucking Red Lobster. I went back when I was dating 20-something years ago. If I went to Red Lobster on the first date with you, we was probably gonna get married. That wasn't no date you go on like, yeah, I'm gonna take you to Red Lobster. Hell no. And that shit just went downhill. KFC is going. I don't know how many KFCs are left. Them motherfuckers folded.
I don't know, but shit, I stopped going because every time I order the food, they have me pull around and wait. It's like, wait, this is supposed to be fucking fast food. I want this shit before I get out the driveway.
And it didn't taste the same after a while either. It was like the KFC I grew up on. I grew up in Capitol Drive with the KFC on 19th and Capitol, where shit, that's hot and ready, baby. Side dishes off the chain. I was going there so long. I remember when they sold fish. I can tell you, I'm old as fuck. So yeah, but things have changed. Our shopping habits have changed, right? Places, the Foot Locker, malls are struggling. Malls are struggling. Like their occupancy rate is going down. The way we shop, Walmart is having problems. Remember, Walmart just came through and just took everything over, shut every other store down. Just boom. Kmart gone, Sears gone, JCPenney gone.
Right.
Only one left is Target. Right. All them Gimbals, Boston's, all that shit gone. Walmart. Go to Walmart. Them motherfuckers shutting down like 90 Go North, man. It's crazy. And post-pandemic, with the way people hustle changed. So, people got to the point where they was like, nah, I'm not even gonna go back to work. I'm just gonna keep moving and grooving for myself. Right. And then you get they change employment because look at what Uber's done to taxi cabs. You don't need no taxi no more. Uber. Right. The shit changed though, and you can become an Uber driver. Just take your car and put a light in the window. I mean, you got to go through whatever protocol, but it's like a no frills kind of thing, right? Like so, the country's changing, and this is why I say if we stay stuck in the past, we'll get left behind, and that's what's happened to us a lot because of the horrific nature of what's been done to us in this country. A lot of us can't move on. We're stuck in the past. And sometimes you don't even know you are. If you feel defeated when you get up in the morning, you're probably stuck in the past because it's probably because of a previous failure. And I want you to know failure is part of success, right? I'm doing my best to not sound like a motivational speaker, but anybody who succeeded at anything understands that they failed before they succeeded. More often than not, I don't know too many people who didn't just boom, was gone, just out of here. No failures, no trials, no tribulations. And that's what I say to people who keep telling me about how bad the community is and what they done to us down here and what they done. Well, shit, that's part of it. You think it's going to be easy? You got to work your ass off, man. You have to work your ass off. That old thing they say, when you start a race in the back, you got to run 2 times as fast as the man in the front to win. When did that stop being true? Oh, well, since I started last, I can't win this race. Fuck it. I quit. Messy. Right there, man. Shout out to rest in peace to Red Lobster.
I mean, the whole dynamics of shit changing. I mean, right now, a lot of the stores are saying that it's a whole lot cheaper to just have a distribution center. And now they're starting to look into delivery drones. I seen it was some state where Walmart had some drones where they was testing out drone delivery. The shit just land in your yard, drop it off, and then take right. So it's like now they trying to move towards like a cashless society. So I mean, it's easier to be cashless when everything online.
And Amazon is absolutely whooping everybody's ass, especially Walmart. Amazon, I can tell you, I shop on Amazon.
Right.
And Amazon is a roll of the dice because you can get some really cheap shit that ain't worth nothing, or you can find a bargain and be like, "Ooh, I caught." Right? You just gotta know how to work it. But I've going to the store to get clothes and shit like that, shoes. I swear it's easier for me a lot of times to just pull out the phone and be like, "Let me
right
red or blue. Let me see what other colors you. Boop, boop, boop. Your order's been placed, Mr. Barnes. Will be there in the morning."
Right. Shit, I wasn't gonna get off work till 4:30, and even though I work from home, shit, while I was at my desk taking a call, I just pulled up Instacart. That shit was on my porch by the time I punched out of work.
There you go. There you go. So that's why a lot of these businesses is like, shit. Hey, ain't nobody. People realizing I don't have to be inconvenienced by dealing with other people no more. Yeah, Black Friday. Amazon got a Black Friday.
And Cyber Monday.
Right. And I ain't finna be in the store wrestling with nobody no more. Shit. I'm just finna boop, 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 boop.
Right.
So yeah, world's changing. We got change with it.
Yeah.
That adage of, and I can tell you this because I worked in the school system. That adage of, well, they don't have it's there. You can't teach empty seats. Kids you gotta be able to teach them kids the curriculum. Hell, like you said, even if it is from 1986, it's better than nothing. Like it's better to, oh well shit, they made us read some books from 1986 they didn't make us read shit. That's why I don't know how to read.
I mean, now with the internet, you got 1 billion libraries in your pocket. You could pull up what is it, Google Scholar or some shit and get all that shit. Yeah, shit. YouTube, people talk about YouTube University, but there's actual scholars on YouTube that teach shit. I like my grown boys. I just told them the other day, like, look, man, Google got free certifications you could take for data analyst, for digital marketing. I'm like, hey, y'all ain't gotta be cashing out, but y'all can do something to get some certs under your belt.
That's what it's about. I see them now with the commercials talking about the paper ceiling, which I think is hilarious.
Paper ceiling?
Well, it's about people who didn't go to school and get their degree not being able to get jobs because they don't have a degree.
Oh, make your own.
Well, I think it's bullshit because for people who went to school, they went to school because they were told they would be able to get a job when they got a certain degree. So they took their time, they went to school, they went through the whole class, they went through the process, they got their certification, their bachelor's degree, master's, whatever it is. And I ain't just talking about liberal arts. I'm talking about I worked 5 years as an apprentice to become an electrician. I went to law school, and in order for me to get an understanding of law, I went to law school for X amount of years. So yeah, I got this job because I got my certification or I got my license. You shouldn't be able to say, fuck that, I ain't doing all that. Give me a job as a master electrician right now. I'm gifted. That's now, if you work in the electrical field for a long time, put in your dues, and you've demonstrated, I know what I'm doing, and they say, okay, well, we're going to give you, because you got to qualify for license to be able to do stuff. We're going to give you an opportunity, and you go in there and you mac that, then you get it. But we ain't giving nobody shit. That's the thing. Everybody wants something. I don't want to have to go to school. I don't want to have to do nothing. I don't want to be trained. I want to be what I say I am. I'm Dr. Najee Rama. Okay, Doc, come on in. Here you go. Start working on people.
I think I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the younger kids realize that world that our parents had don't exist no more. Like from the baby boomers, they could get a degree get at a job, work there, get a pension, a watch, all that shit, get Social Security. But now a lot of the people who I'll be 41 on Saturday. So a lot of the people under me is like, why am I doing all this to try to work at a job that ain't gonna keep me around long enough to retire? So I think the dynamics change, so the core values change. Like even with my sons or my kids in general, I teach, okay, you can play it by the book, you could play it society's way. And if you're gonna play it society's way, then yes, a degree is your entry ticket. If you're gonna do the society way, or there's ways you could think. I mean, I just think about like my mother has her master's in nursing. You know what I'm saying? But she had partnered with a lady who was making millions running a PNCC. And she hired my mother on as the degree holder to get access to some of the shit. But my mama wasn't making as much as the person who owned the PNCC who hired the degree holder. So it's all about
I love
learning how to operate.
I love how people who manage to start a business and get wealthy tell other people they don't need education. That shit's 1 in a million. More often than not, you're going to need a certain level of education to advance. Now, thank God that this lady was smart enough to see your mother and say, I have to have a person who has this in order to make my business go.
Right,
okay.
right.
So now it turns into your mother knowing that she's a vital part of this, saying, you're going to have to pay me way more because without me, this shit don't move. That's why I went to school and got this degree. Right. So most people, not, of course, there's exceptional people who didn't get a degree, who have money by the boatload. There's people who got degrees and have money by the boatload. Right. It goes all over the place. There's people who have degrees that are straight losers, that's working a fucking low paying ass, a low hanging fruit, because a degree in itself usually doesn't promise you anything except for an opportunity.
Right.
There's nothing written in stone. You get a degree, you gotta mac that motherfucker. You gotta work it. You gotta say, yeah. And you gotta look for them positions where they say, this is what's required. Get in there.
It made me think about the game of life. I don't know if you ever played that game and shit.
It's been a long time.
But in the game of life, you can choose to go to school or you could choose to start your career out the gate. Now, going to school, you're going to start with debt and all that shit. But by the end of the game, you may be making more than the person who started the career out the gate. But it allowed you to kind of see both spectrums. Like, I think the issue I have with a lot of people who promote education is like a homie posted the other day, like damn near made it sound like education is the difference between working a job and dope dealing. And it's like, damn, it ain't that black and white. No. There are successful people. Like, I don't have a degree. I started working in technical support in my last semester when I was going for IT management. So I had like visual basics and some programming classes that I wasn't really into anyway. And I'm like, shit, I'm making $32 an hour. This is what motherfuckers go to school for. you know what I'm saying? So, but as far as break fix, as far as CompTIA Plus, A Plus, Net Plus, wireless, like I took all those and passed all those certifications. I just don't have a degree in that shit. You know what I'm saying?
You're not uneducated.
Right. And education and a degree, it's like you can get certs, you can get training. Hell, if you able to navigate YouTube, do that shit. It's
not people who, a lot of people who down education ain't in your position. They are motherfuckers who really are uneducated. And the only reason they speaking out against it is because they are uneducated and they feel intimidated. Listen, I got some real partners who, a lot of them don't got degrees, but they hustle is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They have a plan. They're driven. They're you know, they men, right? And I can sit and have conversations with them till the cows come home, and it's always intelligence back and forth, a real conversation.
Right.
And I got some partners who do what they do, right, and move how they move, I can't really have a conversation with them on that level because it'll turn into, oh, Kev, you got them degrees, or well, because you went to college. It's
college boy.
I'm intimidated. And I try to tell people, college didn't make me smart. I was already smart when I went to college. That's how I got there.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make me smart. I
Right.
didn't go into college as a Neanderthal, like scratching my head. Ooh, Kevin won't job. I didn't go in there like that.
Right. Right.
When I came out, I just came out being able to classify, being able to compartmentalize, being able to understand science and methodology and means and norms and statistics and qualifying and quantifying information. Therefore, it made my processing more efficient.
Right. Right.
It made me smarter. And it was the drive of, here's the structure you have to maintain in order to you have to be aspiring to something.
Right.
If you live in a life where even if you ain't going to school, if you hustling, you got to say, what's the levels to this shit?
Right.
Okay. Like you said, let me go get that certification. Oh, because they come with these little programs at work, professional development. Most people say, I'm gonna do this shit because they brought cousin subs and shit, and we off. It's some motherfuckers who be in there taking business cards and everything, like, hey, I'm gonna call you. Next thing you know, hey man, I got in this program. Boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
You moving. You're making moves.
Real shit. I got into that leadership program just because I was like, shit, it's some time off the phone. But then as I was in these classes, like I was like, it's time off the phone. But also as somebody who wants to facilitate workshops in the future, I'm learning what they teaching me, but I'm also peeping how they facilitate. Like you see the different tools they use, the different cards they use to get team building going. Okay, everybody who has a card with a star on it, y'all in a group type. So I kind of was able to peep the facilitating, but then also a lot of them are Black professionals, like the brother Kwabena who taught my first class, or there was a brother Nick who's from Milwaukee, but he live in Texas now. But you know, each time I have the chance, I gift them with my book and my gratitude journal. But it's networking. So now they like, oh man, I'm throwing an event. I want you to be part of my event because I see you own what I'm on. And because I've been there, I'm willing to mentor you or help you get there. So I was able to kind of see different dimensions of the same opportunity and play it from different angles.
He walks in the chat room. He said, Kev used the only A words in the dictionary in a row. Look, I'm old school. I come from the Kung Fu era. We used to watch karate movies. Well, how do you learn how to be a Kung Fu master? You have to go and study the master teacher. You said, teacher, teach me, right? And so you have to learn. Like, it's about learning. Life is a large percentage of what you encounter as a human being is learning. You are born in this world. You can't even hold your own head up. You got to learn how to hold your head up. You can't walk. You got to learn how to walk. You can't speak. Whatever language it is, you learn to speak. It's about learning. So as long as you open to that, okay, well, let me understand. Let me figure this out. Then I think you'll be okay. I just think it's the people who think education is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or they are so mad or envious because they didn't get one that they talk down on people. I've seen people shit on college, shit on degrees. And as time passed, 10, 12 years later, I've seen this same individual say, oh, you know, I'm in school. What you doing in school? See, man, I would go down there to MATC, take these little classes. Wait, not you, Mr. Fucker Bachelor, right? Like, so it's okay if you don't go, if you have a plan. Had my children say, or if they say, well, shout out to my daughter because she already got her bachelor's degree. You feel me? My son is on his way. If he gets to a point where he said, Dad, I just don't get it. I don't see no point in this. I don't see no purpose in this. The first thing I'm going to say is, well, what's your alternative plan? Because I've been alive long enough to be able to make some predictions and form some hypotheses about your direction. You feel me? So if he has a solid plan and I say, well, okay, son, let's see it. Let's do it. They go do it. But if it's just because I'm tired of going to class and they ain't teaching me nothing. Well, are they not teaching you nothing, or are you not getting anything from the experience? Because sometimes you got to take control and say, I only want classes that I'm gonna get something out of, because you do get to pick your classes. So I
Mm.
did like American history and sociology and psychology. I did all these classes because my interest is there. I'm like, I want to know about this shit, right? I knew I wasn't a math guy. I knew I wasn't a numbers guy, so I wasn't taking, advanced college. I had to take advanced statistics when go through the masters and all that kind of stuff. But I chose things that I could get some out of. So I left every class I left, there was something like, oh shit.
Like the classes that weren't part of my core that I could actually elect to take. I took a lot of theology, and man, I went to UWM, and there was a brother, Dr. Mbaya, who taught Africology. And then I liked him so much. I liked the Africology class so much. My sophomore year, I went back to take his Blacks in Media class. And that class completely changed the way I watch TV. Like, I really don't watch a lot of TV now. And I think it's because of that class, because it broke down the Black person's role in a movie and how every dude was either the fast talking hustler or the slow talking ignorant person or the thug, or how every woman
Or the
was either.
magical Negro, because I'm
Yeah,
watching the magical Negro right
yeah.
now. The magical Negro.
Oh, that's the what's that, a show?
Yeah, it's a movie out called The Wonderful World, The Great American Society of Magical Negroes.
Oh,
And it's just this whole thing on Black people who basically exist to make white people feel safe.
I like Bagger Vance.
That type of shit, right? Like they exist to say, I want to disarm your fear of me. So I'm
Right.
gonna be very
Well,
affable. I'm not
that's why
gonna be
you had
aggressive.
the mammy. Like the mammy, they had her as overweight and old and ugly, and they said a lot of times the mammy was a young mulatto girl who the master fancied.
Hanging out, yeah.
But they had to take away her sexual threatening, in the movies by making her Aunt Jemima. So, or the over sexual one was the Jezebel, or then you had the highly aggressive one who was the Sapphire, who that was the loud lady on the Tyler Perry movies type shit. But like they all had their roles, and now that I had that class, it's hard for me watching the movie. Okay, just last night my lady cut on 48 hours and then another 48 hours. And it was like, okay, yeah, Eddie Murphy is the fast talking, overly aggressive.
But no, if you where the genius of Eddie Murphy lies is that Eddie Murphy he wasn't just one Black dude.
Right.
He was slick, he was a criminal, he was fast talking, but he's also very smart. He's also very intelligent.
Most definitely.
He was also very streetwise. Like, so it was the first time you've seen a Black character. That's why he blew up so big off Trading Places and 48 Hours, because he portrayed a different kind of Black man on the screen.
Right. But you will see how they try to put him like even like the Chris Tucker in the in the Rush Hour type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you could kind of identify the role they trying to put him in. Now they might have other layers to it, but it still be that type like, oh damn, this is all they see us as.
Well, it's an evolution from Stepin Fetchit, who only played Stepin Fetchit.
Yeah, true.
Okay, you've never seen Stepin Fetchit get a movie where he got to really say, nah, this is how I really sound, motherfucker. What's happening? It was all he could do was
you say
right. There you go. So it never changed. Eddie Shaft, John Shaft, and Gordon Parks, who directed Shaft, and his son who did Superfly, but and Richard Roundtree just passed, so rest in peace to Richard Roundtree.
Yeah.
But and I know this because my dad explained this to me. Right, Shaft comes out. There's never been a portrayal of a Black man like that theatrically. You had a buildup because Jim Brown, who goes from this football star to making these movies, him and Fred Williamson kind of change it, but it's still kind of like a shuck and jive type of thing.
Black boy touch,
like, I mean, and Jim Brown, he did some cowboy movies and he did, the army military movies, but it wasn't the same. Jim Brown and those guys started doing those movies after Shaft. Hard Way and all that stuff came. Where the Black dude was cool. He was on top. He was smart. He was morally. He was he's a hero.
Yeah,
he wasn't compromised by nothing. You know what I'm saying? He was all of a sudden he wasn't Stepin Fetchit. He wasn't Porgy. What's my guy named name? The show that was so infamous, Amos and Andy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? You know, he wasn't Flip Wilson. You know, no matter how much comedy Flip Wilson did, we will forever know him as Geraldine.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, Eddie in the early 80s, that's Beverly Hills Cop, 48 Hours, Trading Places,
Yeah, they're my
Golden
favorite movies.
Child, all those movies, even in Boomerang, which is my favorite Eddie Murphy movie, it's movies showing a black person and black people in a different light. Like, no, we're not just slaves. Like, you look at Trading Places, that movie got some serious racist undertones.
Man, that's my favorite. You know, that's my favorite movie.
That shit, Mortimer and them motherfuckers was filthy.
You think I would let a Negro run? Nobody say a nigger run the family?
Right, like the whole thing, how they play the game with him. You know, that if you watch that movie, I seen it as a kid growing up, right?
Yeah.
But when I watched it as an adult, I said, oh shit. Like, that's some shit right there. Like,
Yeah.
you know, as a kid, you just waited for Eddie Murphy to say something stupid. It's like, Eddie Murphy, boy. But you don't think about the whole, especially when he gets wise to what they're doing. And so you want to say this dude was homeless on a cart, scamming people, and we gave him a little money and a little opportunity, and we thought if we took it from him, he'd go right back. No, you just gave a motherfucker who was fully capable an opportunity.
Right.
And they took advantage of it. So
he already knew the stock game. He just called it something else. He like,
right,
y'all
he's
bunch
a
of
street
bookies.
hustler. He snapped one quick. He said, "Wait a minute. So what? Oh, you see
like,
how
y'all a bunch of bookies.
he figured their system out so slick and so smooth. Before long, but they didn't realize he was running their shit. They was like, oh, Valentine here just made us $1 million. He like, yeah. And then he realized, like, wait a motherfucking minute.
Right.
So it's about us and our mentality. I like when you said that. It's about our state of mind. It's about how willing we are to evolve. You know,
and what we aware of. You know, you can't know better until you know there's a possibility. You can't do better until you know it's a possibility of better out there.
I think everybody knows it's something better because you aspiring to it. You looking on TV, you're looking and saying, I want to be like that. I want an expensive car. I want to live in a big mansion. You seeing that is better.
And then they might think that they can only achieve that by rapping or dribbling the ball, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you will soon realize that is not the case. It's a myth. I keep saying we as a people need to diversify our assets. Where are our engineering firms? Where are architecture firms? Where are large construction companies? Where's our what black manufacturers? You know, they got machine shops, they got custom welding shops, auto body shops. Where are the black ones? We got barber shops. Shout out to all barbers. Shout out to my barber, Paul. Prayers for you, my brother. We got beauty salons. We got hair and nail. We got daycare. It starts to kind of wane. We got restaurants. It starts to kind of some of us got clothing stores. But usually we're not manufacturing our own clothing. We're purchasing from overseas. You feel where I'm going? Like always forever the customer and never the owner. Like, and so, and we, like you said, we think that's all we can do. Motherfuckers say, I went to college for engineering. I learned how to build bridges. But shit, you didn't go to the NBA. Didn't you used to hoop? Did you hear what I said, motherfucker? I build bridges. And that's cool and shit, but why you go to NBA? Like, it's that limited kind of thinking, like, oh shit, if it ain't overnight and it ain't quick, then I shouldn't do it.
Right.
And more importantly, I tell people this all the time. Whatever kind of education you go after or you get, you have to look at it like an investment in yourself. Like I've heard people say, I wouldn't borrow shit. I wouldn't borrow no money. But he go take out a car loan. He'll go, get a house and take out a mortgage. He'll get a credit card.
They go get it now or Renaissance. Well, Renaissance this no more.
Yeah, get it now. Get it now. That's what it's called. Get it now, goddamn it. Right. He'll do that and say, shit. Well, you take a 30-year loan out on a house and the loan has interest. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be paying damn near double what the house is, what you paid for, what the price was. They say it's 30. Interest, 30 years. You ain't gonna pay $30,000. You're gonna pay 70. But you'll say, I wouldn't take no loan out so I can go get me some education. That don't make sense. To me, it doesn't. I'm just one man. Let me see. Ernest says the women lazy and want it given to them, and black men want it right away without working hard. Damn, are the women lazy? Ooh, shit. Ooh, shit.
don't know. I ain't gonna say nothing about them.
Are the women lazy, Ewok? The black women lazy? Because I don't trip on the white chicks.
I guess a portion of them who don't want to take advantage, you saying, you know. Well, or just people who've been conditioned. Like I talk to them every day in my job, and it's like, oh man, so I need to quit my job because otherwise it's reducing my benefits, huh? It's like, nah, you ain't gotta quit your job because it's reducing your benefits, but I mean, I would think you would aspire to eventually get to a point where you don't need the help. But I mean, it's all about mindset and what we're aware of and what we taught.
Well, I work with people on a daily basis who are struggling, who looking for an out, and I provide them with resources. I don't provide you with life-saving, like I can't cast a magic spell. I don't have $1 million to give you, but when you talk about what you need and the spot you're in, I have access to some resources that could potentially
Right.
get you about help you start that journey. I'm not here to drive the whole way. I'm just gonna drop you off at the bus stop. And you say, "You sure this is your right bus?" Yes, get on that motherfucker, stay till you get down on Villard or whatever, and then get off and catch the other one. Like, I'm gonna give you that. I'm not gonna say I just drop you off. Right. And I think I meet a lot of people who are struggling who say to me they want better. And they know it's out there, but they just try to figure out, how can I get there? That's why when you said, I don't think a lot of people know. No, a lot of struggling people know this ain't what life's supposed to be. My life is fucked up, right? Cat Williams say, fuck up. And they say, well, how do I get out of this shit? If you're willing to jump on that opportunity and say, shit, I got to ride this motherfucker till the wheels fall off. If you ain't willing to do that, then you're going to stay stuck. And that's not no speech. That's not down in poor people. I don't come from no rich family. I'm not rich now. I don't have $1 million. I'm a black man in the city of Milwaukee. I'm subject to the treatment that any and everybody get if the police pull me over. They ain't gonna say, hey, educated Kev. You can get your ass out the motherfucking car and put your hands on the hood. It'll be later on after they figure out, like, you done ran my name, ran my license, ran it. All right, Mr. Barnes, you can go. And they might not even say that nice. Get the fuck out of here. They might say that. Right? I have to be prepared. So when they pull me over, I don't got 5 pistols, 3 ounces of cocaine, pills, and syrup in my shit. And then be like, see, they be sweating a nigga. Like, you kind of created your own situation, man. Rail is froze up again. I can always tell when you give me that when that look is on. Rail, I'm gonna give you a chance to go out and come back in before we close it down. I just think we were talking about indoctrination and we were talking about learning and this kind of thing and growth. And so, what I learned even in my life coach certification is that there's a way to do things and there's a discipline to do things. And if you do it in a certain fashion, it can be profitable or progressive for you. But then again, you can write your own shit and make up what you want to make up and do what you want to do and roll a dice and see where you'll land. It's really all up to you. It's not easy. I'm saying that out loud. It's not easy. And it takes a lot of dedication and sacrifice and hard work. And if you ain't ready for that, then shit, even if you're doing something illegal, to be a good criminal is hard work. I don't know if motherfuckers understand that. Good criminals work hard. Shit. Because most of what they do is evasion. They evade law enforcement, right? So, choose or lose, right? Ewok always said, if you grin, you in, right? So don't think, okay, I'm gonna live my life unconventionally. I'm not gonna go to school. I'm not gonna follow anybody's rules. Don't think you ain't gonna have to work hard to even do that. You got to work hard to be independent. This is where we at. That's the gist of the conversation. Nothing is free. Nothing is easy. But something you work for is they say the struggle is sweet. When you work and when you're dedicated to get to that point where you get what you was after, it's a great thing. It's a feeling of fulfillment, And I would encourage everybody, tell your children, man, set some goals for them. My daughter, one of the reasons why she's successful is because she set her goals. It wasn't me with my foot on her neck. It wasn't my wife with her foot on her neck. She was driven herself. She was driven. She said, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna move this way. And she did it. And hard work paid off. And I know through all the sacrifice and the shit she went through, there was times when she said, I don't want to do this no more. But I guarantee you right now, she feels a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous sense of pride because she fought the good fight. I'm talking about my daughter. And with education, because I was saying we wasn't on her ass like, hey, you going to goddamn. She did this. She said no. Our job was just to support what she wanted. It's the same with my son. Ain't nobody really been beat nobody ass about motherfucker because I got a degree. It's trying to help him understand he needs to have a plan. He needs to set goals and he needs to work and aspire towards something if he wants anything out of life. Those are words to live by from the Negro Whisperer. What you got coming up this weekend, man?
Oh man, shit. Just I gotta start going back hard on my TikTok content. I've been just resharing like old videos. So it's still been growing. I'm getting close to 5,000 followers. And I think once I hit 5,000, I can actually do a TikTok shop and sell shit through TikTok. So if you don't follow me now, come follow me. Higher Frequency, HIGHER Otherwise, you can still catch my book, 12 Steps to Becoming Your Own Dope, on Amazon. I'll be at this next wellness event, June 1st, just expanding on the emotional intelligence class I've been teaching.
Okay, that's what's up, man. As usual, it's been a pleasure to bring Outlaw Radio to everybody. I think the one thing people need to understand real is I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I really don't. And I don't say things to appease you. Not you.
Right.
I try to keep it as close to honest as possible,
Yeah.
right? Like for me, my personal feelings, I feel like I get an opportunity to get a lot of shit off my chest. Maybe it's therapeutic. But I tell people all the time, I don't want to tell you what to think. I just want to tell you to think. It's very important that you think. Like, never underestimate the power of thinking, right? Critical thinking, problem solving, crisis management, mediation, right? Understanding, knowledge, wisdom. There's a difference between knowledge, wisdom, just like there's a difference between being educated and having an education, right? You got to look into this shit. The man says levels to this shit, right? So, and for all those people out there who have degrees that wave them in people's face, shame on you. Shame on you for doing it like that. Because if that's the reason why you did it, so you can stunt on people, shame on you. But also shame on you motherfuckers out there with that envy, right? Hating and shit, mad and shit. I would have went. You know how many times I was there. I was there. I do that. And then be like, I said, fuck that shit. Okay. Some of y'all just like have degree envy. I understand, man. It's part of human nature. In the meantime and in between time, man, be somebody who you can really be happy with when you look in the mirror, man. Get out and try to get involved in something. Try to work with somebody, help somebody. You might not have a whole lot, but just try to help somebody with a little bit. I ain't talking about no bum on the corner. Just even giving somebody insight sometime. You at work and you know how this shit go and you see somebody struggling, try to help them. They may resist, but try to help them because they might have a family at home and they might need this little job, right? And you never know when you'll get noticed helping somebody else and they say, we think he'd be a good manager. Your ass get elevated, right? At the end of the day, you have to be the type of person whose criticism of the community is not outweighed by your contribution to the community. Because if and when you find yourself in that situation, you will soon realize that you're a coon. I'll see y'all Monday, man. Peace and love. Outlaws for life, baby. Shout out to Kamar and the Juice Lady.
Peace.